Hey gamers, looking for the hottest tips on how to play Zanki Zero last beginning?
Well, we got them here for you on this top 10 gaming tips for Zanki Zero.
Actually like 40 tips. Hey guys, on Friday we put up a review of Zanki Zero last beginning, and a game that we really enjoyed, in spite of its horrible, gross shortfallings. But the one thing about this game is that
since it's very, very new,
there are no tips anywhere. We struggled so hard to platinum this game because things are just like, we almost thought of buying the Japanese guide
and attempting to read that.
I mean, I can read Japanese, but it's just like good fucking luck figuring out what everything fucking means.
Yeah.
So we have amassed for you our tips after playing over 60 hours of Zanki Zero and digging through Reddit. That's how you know when things are dire. We're looking through fucking Reddit for tips. This is all of our tips. We're putting everything right here, beginner and advanced. Come back to this video when you need more information, because for the loot stuff, you're gonna want to take notes.
Specific.
You're gonna want to take notes. If you just started playing the game, or if you have no idea if you even won the game, go watch the review first and then come back, maybe play a couple of hours of the game so you know what the hell we're talking about.
Yeah.
Because we have a long list, and this video cannot be 20 minutes long.
No, we don't have that much B-roll.
We're going in at 3, 2, 1.
First off, let's start with some basic tips on how to, get through the beginning of the game real easy, real good. First off, dying is okay. It's even good. You're going to come back stronger against the bosses, and it's going to be great, and you're going to have a better time not dying immediately to any particular enemy.
Also, autosave is your friend. Every time you go up a floor or you move from one level to another level of the dungeon or back to the base, the game autosaves for you. And that means that if something horrible happens, you can just press start and load the autosave. We absolutely recommend, if you're unsure or if you're like really tight on resources, like play through the level that you're in, making mistakes and just examining things, and then reloading so that you actually don't waste any resources, especially if you're tight at the beginning of the game.
So there are 3 difficulty modes that you start out with in the game. Mostly game difficulty just affects your drop rates and which particular monsters spawn at which particular locations.
Also, enemies do more damage in higher difficulties.
Yeah, so they'll more likely kill you in one hit.
We play the game in difficulty 3, which is the hard difficulty. You unlock harder difficulties later on, and those hard difficulties are required basically if you want to get the best loot.
The best loot and the best gear and shit like that.
On that note, difficulty 1 is the story difficulty of the game, where you basically just... There are no monsters in the dungeons, and the bosses do no damage to you, so you actually cannot die. If you just want to experience the story, that's an option that you can do. We don't fully recommend it, because we think it's probably the worst way to do an easy mode.
Yeah, it takes away from a lot of the mechanics that they've worked so hard to develop.
Now, that being said, if you're having trouble with a dungeon and you just want to clear the floor, go back down to difficulty 1.
Or 2.
Or 2. Take care of all the switches and then go back to difficulty 3 or 4, wherever you're at. That's your prerogative. Do what you need to do.
Speaking of changing the difficulty as you need it, just go back to the island. Dropping the difficulty is free to do. When you go back up, you gotta cost some score. The final dungeon especially is going to get really hard. We did it on difficulty 3, and then we were like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
And we bumped it down, and it was much fairer.
Yeah, I know, the final dungeon kind of cheats. Also, peace out when you need to. You can go back to the camp at the expense of score points, and let me tell you, I'm going to go into the next one. A score doesn't matter. The game just hands you a score like it's nothing, and we have never had to grind. We beat this game in hard difficulty, and we never had to grind. We ended the game with almost 1,000,000 points of score, which has almost taken us through all of our Shikabane grinding for the platinum. So don't worry about score.
Don't worry about it.
Also,
bosses will respawn, so if you didn't die to a particular hit from a boss, don't worry, he's gonna come back.
Yeah, it takes a few days, but they do.
Yeah.
Also, ropes are godsend. If there's a hole in the floor you need to fall down, throw a rope and your characters will descend without taking damage.
Yeah, just bring a couple of ropes to every dungeon that you go to for the first time. It's just a good idea.
And now for base building and general tips, Kitty!
Top tip, rush kitchen.
Rush the kitchen.
Kitchen is your friend.
Being able to make food takes care of so many problems. Rush kitchen. And also rush the level 2 bathroom, because it lets you take care of bladder without giving you stress every once in a while.
And that is really a problem in the beginning of the game, so...
Once you complete those 2 things, you have kitchen and level 2 bathroom, you have found a seam, and you will be able to play the game without basically, like, running on fumes.
Yeah, basically, like, we're all stressed all the time, we've peed ourselves all the time, it's all bad.
You know, it's a regular weekend over here at Dango Duo, which reminds me, Kitty...
So there's one upgrade that you can just pretty much forget about until you need the platinum. It's the warehouse.
Fuck the warehouse. The warehouse Doesn't matter. We thought it mattered. It doesn't matter. Throw your shit on the floor.
It doesn't despawn. Don't worry.
It doesn't despawn. Like, in your base, and actually even in dungeons, you can just drop your shit on the floor. It's fine.
Yeah, I think it eventually respawns in dungeons, but it'll wash up on the shore of Garage Island anyway, so don't worry about it.
Talking about cooking and other stuffs, MINAMO is the best cook in the entire game. She's gonna be your main cook. Get her cooking skills as soon as possible.
In fact, don't even bother with most of the other people unless you absolutely need it. Just bump her cooking. She can be your one cook.
Also,
don't worry about bonding. Characters can form bonds and have relationships, basically, with other characters, but it's way easier after you get level 3 and beyond bedrooms.
At level 3 or beyond bedrooms, like, you literally level up every night.
Pretty much every night.
So, and otherwise, like, trust us, we had, like, level 1 and 2 bedrooms for a long while, and we, like, hardly ever got an event.
Mm-hmm.
It's just not worth it. Also, in your island, from the beginning, there's a water tower, and every couple of days it gives you 8 units of water. Don't forget about it, you need that water for cooking as well as for stress.
It's true. Speaking of skill points are pretty tight during the game, so you're going to want to specialize your different characters.
Every character can pick up basically skills for different weapons. I'm going to tell you right now, don't make the mistake that people do. Just because Jorito can learn all 3 weapons, it doesn't mean that you should give him points in all 3. There are more blunt weapons than there are slash, than there are pierce. Remember that. There's nothing wrong about going blunt on like 3 of your characters right off the start.
And don't worry about throwing. That's not going to happen until way later in the game. So.
Yeah, you don't get a ranged weapon for a long time. Also, you can respec your characters. We have never had to do it because we just specialize right off the start.
Yeah.
So, there's something a little bit in there for you. If you do New Game Plus, skill points will carry over. They're just unallocated skill points. But if you're playing for the first time, skill points are very tight.
Speaking of tight skill points, what you're going to want to focus on for SACHIKA is gathering, hunting, and fishing. You'll unlock the crafter?
The workshop.
The workshop, and you'll be able to make things that can help you fish, hunt, and gather resources at specific spots in dungeons. SACHIKA is the best at it. She will, on all 3 of them, she lets you do it, I think, 6 times. There's only a couple other people that do anyone like that specifically, and there's only one. SACHIKA can do all 3 all the time, so she is your best upgrader for that.
Now, if you've been playing the game, you're giving your characters food, and you go, oh, finally, you're getting some stamina back. Problem now, characters have allergies, and you're eventually gonna murder a character without realizing it by feeding a character like, hey, eat this delicious piece of food I just cooked, and then they'll fucking die.
Eat this baked potato.
We won't tell you who's allergic to potatoes, but now you know. Now, this is not inherently a bad thing, because when a character dies, they get the Shigabane for dying to their allergy, and then they come back stronger, and then they might not even take damage to that anymore. But you have to be mindful that characters have allergies to certain things. If you want to go and spoil yourself, that's completely fine. But while we're on the topic of allergies, there is poisonous food in this game, and we gotta tell you right now, because we made this mistake in the past.
Yep.
If you cook up food with a poisonous ingredient, that food will still be poisonous.
It'll still kill you.
So even if that pizza looks good, think about it twice before eating.
Don't worry about it.
This is not in the list, but I'm gonna say this right now. If you need a character to die, by the way, for any particular reason, making them eat poisonous food is not a bad idea.
It's usually a good thing, honestly.
And now, for the biggest one of them all, let's fucking talk about loot!
We're gonna talk about the shit that you need to find that is hard to find.
Fucking take notes. Kitty?
Let's go with some basic tips first. Basic tip number 1 for loot. Bunk Yuma with your favorite fighter or whoever you want to get more loot.
Or whoever you think she would make a better couple with. We think Rinko. Yuma gets the bonus of having more loot. Have her and Rinko in the party, and you will just get more loot. More loot means less grinding. Come on, you know how these games work.
Means better chance of getting better loot.
Oh, and also, here comes your friend Autosave.
He's back
to
again.
Save the day again. Now listen, we wasted a fuck ton of time going through areas waiting for monsters to spawn or to get the particular monster we wanted. And then we would kill them, get nothing, and then repeat the cycle.
And then leave and go to another part of the dungeon.
That's a fucking waste of time. Here's what you do, okay? You go find the monsters you want to kill, you kill them, and if you don't get what you want, you reload the autosave. I have just saved you hours of your life.
It's true.
So how about you go consider leaving a like and subscribing to Dango Duo. Now here comes some loot advice, because we were struggling to find loot for building the things in the workshop and the high level upgrades later on. So here's just a quick, like, machine gun barrage
of all of the loot you're gonna need.
First off,
Monkey adhesive. This is a hard one to find for a while, but in stage 2, the second area, the ebony monkeys will give it to you if you let them hit you. So just get beat up.
Every time they punch you, they place 1 unit of monkey adhesive. It looks like a black ball in your inventory. Let them beat you up for a while. You can even let them kill you, so you get the shikabane,
so...
and then they can beat you up
come
for
back
longer.
and they'll beat you up even more.
Now, where the hell do you get sturdy boar scales?
This one's hard for a lot. It's essential for a lot of weapons.
You need it. You get it from dark-colored boars in level 5 northwest section.
We, at difficulty, I think 4, had like 3 spawn at once.
Yeah.
So, like, that's the best place to get them.
Talking about that difficulty in that area, Kitty, where can we find nasal pig bones?
Those pig nasal bones, I swear. Blue or black pigs will give it to you. The best places to find them are Stage 4, the vertical deck, or Stage 5, southwest.
Now, the autosave trick, like, here's where we literally discovered, like, we were wasting fucking time, because you go into the vertical deck, okay? And right there, most of the time you'll get 2 blue pigs, okay? And how we got our first nasal bone is that we would just come in, kill those 2 pigs with charge attacks, we'll talk more about that in a second, and if we got it, we got it, and if not, reload that autosave. We saved so much fucking time.
It's true.
And as Kitty mentioned, yeah, you can also get the nasal pig bones from level 5 southwest. Whenever
sometimes just a big old piggle spawn.
You basically want to wait for the piggle horde, basically.
Yeah.
Now, where the fuck do you get power generators?
They are from the microwave crabs in stage 3, especially in higher difficulty or coming back later.
We grinded them at difficulty 3 for a long time, and they did not drop a single power generator.
We jumped up 1 to difficulty 4, and they started like pouring out of their microwaves.
Like it was nothing.
Like it was candy.
Now, you may be wondering, hey Max, I want to make some of that really cool ammunition later in the game. Where the fuck do I find lizard mucus? You want to find yourself some reversed lizards. In level 4, in the cabins, there's like 5 of them.
There's like 5 or 6
Sometimes
lizards.
we could average like 3 to 4 lizard mucus in one run. And monsters respawn after several days, so, you know.
Just come back and go do some other grinding, come
and
back.
Now, here comes the big one. If you want to get the achievement for cooking all the food, this one here is the problem. Kitty?
It's marbled chicken meat from the giant chickens. Now, this is the hardest one because it's in level 7 is going to be your best bet, which is the last dungeon. And you need to sneak up behind them. There is a little spot on their back when their feathers aren't up that you can charge attack and break, and that will drop marbled chicken meat.
Now, if you have any difficulty sneaking up on them, walk away from them, and they'll go back to like their not alerted state, and just kind of loop around them to try to hit them. You really have to sneak up on them. We thought people were lying on the internet because we're like, where the fuck is the spot on its back?
Yeah, we're like, the tail? That's not it. No, it's a tiny spot on their back that you really can't see if the wings and the tail are up.
Could have helped if people had just told you, sneak up on them.
It's
now,
true.
for just regular loot advice, go back to Goat Island every once in a while because shit washes up on the shore, including rock salt, which is amazing for cooking, branches, which you need for crafting, and other shit like frying pans. We had like 7 frying pans.
Of frying pans on
we
stage
had
1.
Too many frying pans, seriously.
It's true. Fences and iron partitions are story-based, so you're going to find at least a couple in each dungeon. You will have enough to upgrade everything, but if you need more, they will occasionally respawn in different dungeons or wash up on shore at Stage 1, Goat Island.
And the last tip that we have is untested. We don't know if this is true or not, but during our 60 hours of playing, we have found it to be true. Maybe it's confirmation bias, I don't know, but doing charge attacks on monsters gives you more loot.
Even if you're not breaking the breakable part.
Even if you're not breaking the breakable parts, just doing a charge attack. Because I think it's because it builds combo. I think that's what does it.
Yeah.
Because I was doing runs for Lizard Mucus where like I would get nothing from just attacks.
Yeah. And then we charge attack and get a couple.
And they would just explode. They would explode into so much loot that the loot would go into another square.
Yeah. It'd be like 6-7 pieces of loot.
And that's silly. Yeah. And these right here are our fucking mega tipathon.
Woo!
For how to survive Zanki Zero. Hey gamers.
Hey gamers.
If this was helpful, if we told you something that you didn't know, please consider leaving a like, subscribing. We do anime content and Let's Play stuffs every single week. That was a big one.
That was a big one. Breathing.
Hey guys. If you want to support us, there are links in the description down below. I don't know if you can hear our snorting cat,
Definitely not.
He's
the
been
music,
snoring.
but he's snoring.
but it's fine. Also, if you support us through Patreon, you can get shoutouts like the following people:
Alexa Hoshi,
Amelia,
Angela,
Erasobes,
Lear,
and Luna.
and Sound. I was laughing because you dabbed.
I
right
dabbed for Erasobes.
there. Dab for Erosos.
Erasobes.
That's what happens.
Fuck. We struggled so hard with the
Oh my
marbled
God.
chicken meat. We're like, okay, no, this is a
Y'all
lie.
are fucking lying to
Yeah,
us.
y'all that.
All we saw was the head to break, and then you sneak up behind him, and there's that little small on your back.
Yep.
God damn it. Well, now you won't struggle as much as we did.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
Illuminate.
A brighter future for humanity. Bye-bye.
Bye bye.